Hello and welcome to another edition of the 11th Ohio Volunteer Cavalry. Today what we're going to be talking about is the difference between left in front versus right in front when you're in column, and when you're fronting into line, or left in the line, or right in the line, or on left in the line, or on right in the line, what the difference between all those are. So stay with us and we'll talk about each one of those. Now, the first thing you have to understand is the difference between the normal or true order versus the inverse or improper order. How the cavalry numbers itself is from right to left. And so in formation each morning, or before you go into battle, or before you kind of start the day, you form up, and the first thing you do is you count off by fours. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it starts from the right to the left. And so having the ones on the right, and then the twos and the threes and the fours, then 1, 2, 3, 4 from the right to the left is what's called proper order or normal order. Anytime that is reversed or inverse, then that is then called the improper order or the inverse order. And this is kind of the foundation to understand, because when you are going front into line, or actually more importantly, when you go on right into line versus right into line, one of those puts you in proper order and normal order. The other puts you in improper order or the inverse order. The next thing you need to understand is the difference between left in front versus right in front. Now, when you are in formation in line and you count off by fours, the normal order is to go right in front when you're going in column, whether it be by twos or by fours. So whether the commander orders by twos or by fours, you start for each file from the right and then you work toward the left. That is called right in front. Now, if they do left in front, it's the exact opposite. What you'll be starting is starting from the left. The fours and the threes will start off, and then the twos and the ones will follow in behind, and that's called left in front. So the order to break the platoon by twos or by fours is as follows. The platoon being in line, the instructor commands, by twos or by fours, march, guide left. At the command march, the first 2 or 4 files of the right move straight to the front. They are followed by the other files, who move off when the haunches of the horse of the rear rank are in a line with the heads of the horses in the front rank. These files march straight forward 8 paces, execute a quarter turn to the right by trooper, and march in the direction until they meet the column, when they take their place in it by making a quarter turn back to the left. Now, to go left in front, it's called breaking the platoon by the left. The command or the movement is as follows. It's executed in the same principles as before, but by inverse means. So the commands are by the left, by twos or by fours, march, guide right. And again, that's just done the same as going off by twos or by fours from the right. Instead of guiding left, we guide right. Now, the third thing, and arguably one of the most confusing things, is the difference on how to form the column into a line. Whether it's in the front of you, or if you want to go front of the line, or if you want to form to your right or form to your left. There's basically 3 different directions that you can form your column. Now, the difference is you have front in the line, which is easy. But when it comes to left or right, you have left in a line, and then you have on left in a line. You have right in a line and on right in the line. Now, the difference is if you go right in a line, pretty much the entire column successfully turns to the right, and then you are in that order. The difference between right in a line and on right in a line is if the commander orders on right in a line, you actually, the lead column turns to the right, and then everyone goes on past. That's why it's called on right in a line. You go on past, and you form successively past that first file that stopped and turned to the right, and of course went 20 paces. That is different how a lot of reenacting organizations do in the field. And the reason not a whole lot of people do this, whether it's right in a line or on right in a line, is because one of them puts you in an improper or inverse order, and for a lot of cavalry units that do reenacting, it's a little bit too confusing, and honestly a lot of us are not that skilled or proficient at doing challenging or unique different commands. Now left in a line is the same thing. If the column is going straight up and they order left in a line, then everyone, basically turns to the left, and in that order that you are in column, you are left in a line. The difference then on left in a line is, again, you go on past. The first file turns to the left, and then basically as your mark, they continue marching 20 paces and then halt. And then everyone goes on past and then turns to the left, and that's the difference. There are uses and benefits on each one. That's why Poinsett has it in their manual. Whether you want to form quickly, you can go right in a line or left in a line. Again, except the problem is one of those will put you in an inverse or improper order. If you want to be in the proper order, if you want to build beyond a certain point, whether it be a group of rocks or trees that are an obstacle, and you just need to form right beyond that, and you go on past, you can say for right in a line, then that might be useful as well. The difference is understanding what that means. There is a difference between on right in a line versus right in a line, or on left in a line versus left in a line. Understanding this difference will help you and make you go a long way in understanding Poinsett's tactics, and Cook's for that matter. According to Poinsetts, the order of how to put it front in a line is as follows. Now the commander or the instructor commands front in a line, march, halt, right dress, then front. So at the command march, the first file continues to march straight forward. The others oblique immediately to the left, march in this new direction, and each file makes a quarter turn to the right on coming opposite the place he is to occupy in the platoon. When the first file has marched 20 paces, the instructor commands halt. At this command, it halts square to the front. The other files come up and form successfully on the left of the first and dress to the right. At the command front, turn the head to the front. The instructor gives the command right dress, and immediately everyone dresses. Then commands front when everyone is dressed. Now to form the column left in a line, the order is as follows. The commander orders left in a line, march, halt, right dress, front. At the command march, the first file turns to the left and moves straight forward. The other files continue to march on, and at 2 paces before arriving opposite the place they are to occupy in the platoon, they turn successfully to the left. When the first file has marched 20 paces, the instructor commands halt. At this command, halts, the other files come up and form successfully on the left of the first and dress to the right. At the command front, everyone turns the head to the front after they have dressed. To order the column on right into line, the commander orders the following commands, or the instructor. On right into line, march, halt, right dress, front. At the command march, the first file turns to the right and moves straight forward. The other files continue to march on, and each turns successively to the right at 1 pace beyond the point where the preceding one turned. Then the first file has marched 20 paces, and then the instructor commands halt. At this command, it halts, and the other files come up and form successively on the left of the first, and then dress to the right. Of course, at the command front, all the heads turn after dressing to the right. Now, if the column is marching left in front, to form the column in line upon the prolongation of the left flank, basically it's on left, the order is as follows. On left into line, march, halt, left dress, front. And so what that means is, again, if you want to prolongate, meaning you go on past, the order is on left into line. And what that does is, again, the first file sets by turning left, marches that same 20 paces, and then all the other successive files form past them or on past them. That's why it's called on left or on right into line. Now, if the column is marching left in front to form it on a line on its right flank, the order is right into line, march, halt, left dress, and of course, front. So again, like we talked about, if you are left in front and you go right into line, that will put your column or your line in the order it needs to be